Today's matchup: Zest, Sue, Bunny, ByuN. Round of 20, Group B. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 GSL Season 2.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the GSL Code S. We just finished our first best of 3, and it was close, but ultimately Sue just better than Zest, to be totally honest. I think that the one win that Zest got was epic. It was cool, but Zest is, I don't know, he's not bringing the kind of flavor that we saw from Hero. He doesn't seem to be kind of as up to date with the meta. I know that this is all very early calls for me here. We're like 2 days into GSL, but Hero approaching the matchup very differently and then beating the previous GSL champion with it. I do think we need to see the rest of these Protoss players enter that PvZ growth spurt.
I would love to see it, and it's such a fun style to cast. But we got another TBT on our hands, man. I'm excited to see this, Bunny versus ByuN.
Yeah, I want to see how ByuN performs here. I would say Bunny currently is a better player. You know, Bunny really has stuck with it and really sanded down the edges of his play and become a pretty phenomenal player. But ByuN, look, this guy's a superstar. He's a fan favorite. He's a former world champion. But he's had some ups and downs in the past.
Yeah, he's one of those players that he'll go through stretches where he struggles a little bit. And then, like, when he finds his mojo again, he's just, like, on top of the world. When ByuN plays at his peak, it's like no one can beat him. But, I mean, last year, he really struggled. I don't think he ever got past the top 16. And finally here, I think he got top 10 or something like that in the previous GSL. So he's starting to show a little bit of a return to form. But usually he struggles against Bunny and TBT. So hopefully he's got some tricks up his sleeve that we'll be able to pull out in this best of 3.
Yeah, ByuN with that iconic micro style, taking a lot of fights. Sometimes fights maybe you shouldn't take, but he wins them anyway. Versus Bunny, who I think is just kind of 9s and 10s on all of his stats all around. A very top-tier player. Should be an interesting best of 3. And we're going to start this out on Berlingrad, guys. Let's go.
I came for war.
Team NV, Bunny. Shopify Rebellion, ByuN.
So, a couple things I want to point out here, and they may or may not be factors in this game, but ByuN has had problems with his hands and wrists in the past, which has interfered with his ability to practice, and it has interfered with his ability to play at this studio before. We've had to have games get paused. We do have a cap on, you know, how much a player can call timeouts, and it's basically like, I think 1 for each game tops. See some Bunny support in the audience here. And so I don't know if it's going to be an issue this time around here. Some ByuN hype here as well.
Welcome down to the studio.
But, you know, I just want to point out that there's a chance that we get into like game 2 or maybe late in game 1, and then like we see him pause and we have to go, you know, see how bad it is. You do get disqualified if you just can't play. So
it's unfortunate.
Again, it may not be a factor here, but I've casted so many games in the last few years where this has pretty much happened every day that I'm just going to point it out. So when it does happen, you guys know what's going on. And then other than that, I mean, the play styles, you know, Bunny's always had, I think, a kind of improved approach to TBT. He's kind of taken a lot of traditional openings and then added his own little flair to it. ByuN really does kind of march to his own beat, but he does seem to be more of a chaotic player on the map.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's just looking for fights. He's going to drop where he's going to drop, where I think Bunny is a little bit more methodical. Like, okay, at this supply, I move out, I'm going to hit here. We're going to look for this. I think ByuN is kind of, I think that the way that Bunny plays is a little bit better, but ByuN does make it work, you know?
And he's one of the only people in the world that can make it work. I mean,
Right.
he's one of the best controlling Terrans, if not the best. We see him take fights, as you said before we got into this match, that you typically wouldn't want a Terran player to take, and then somehow he finds a way to eke an advantage out of it in mind-boggling fashion. And yeah, Bunny, I mean, Bunny's been so consistent. He's usually, I don't know how often he's been close to being like the top in the world, but it feels like anytime he comes into a tournament, unless he's suffering some kind of wrist problem where he can't practice or he's having difficulty playing, it feels like he's just rock solid. Like, he will go top 8 quite reliably. Like, this guy is Captain Consistency, whereas ByuN, again, like, if he's feeling hot, he will obliterate you.
This is a really good setup here.
Oh, boy. Oh, the Widow Mine.
It didn't actually work. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's going to hit. No, it still didn't hit. I can't believe that.
I can't believe that.
Oh, that could have been so good for ByuN, but
literally, you call him ByuN. It could. No, I was 100% sure that this setup was going to work where the mine hits the targets and then everything else is weakened, but the mine never got to fire, and Bunny is just sitting here without any control over his natural base. Now he is going to be able to reclaim this, and maybe the mine goes off on the way out.
Maybe. That mine.
I guess you wanted to have the mine up like a hex to the up and to the left.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, like, it just didn't have enough time on any individual target. Like the Reaper and the Hellion, they move so fast, and like,
I feel it's like just a little bit under a second is how much time it needs to confirm its target.
That feels about right. Also, I want to say, like, only ByuN is going to do that and, like, see the line of, like, the Widow Mine. It's like, that's not going to hit me.
Yeah.
I'm too fast for this Widow Mine to trigger. And,
that's crazy to me. So, I mean, how behind is Bunny? I don't think it's that bad, actually.
It delayed a little bit of timing. I think he lost, I want to say, a couple of kind of low impact units, but you know, after everything's said and done, yeah, not too much of a difference, but that was a nice little cheeky move from ByuN, man. It's one of the reasons why I love to watch this guy play, is because he'll find himself in situations that typically Terran players don't find themselves in, and he will find a way to kind of like pull water from a stone, you know? And even going to try and pick up this Widow Mine, barely picking it off there, is Bunny's going to push him back there to the middle, and I guarantee I'm going to say ByuN again at least a couple times this cast,
yeah, well, this is casting on hard mode with 2 IDs like this, and they're both the same race. So, kind of crazy to see the game start out like that. We've got Stim on the way now for ByuN, and he is going to be searching for a fight. I think Stim already finished here for Bunny as well.
Does he have Stim? I think he might not. He's going really heavy.
I'm sorry. I'm actually crazy, dude. I like swapped where I thought I like did ByuN Bunny swap, but just went in my brain, not with the color or with the wording here. So Stim's going to finish, and ByuN's going to have a big drop up here. He's trying to draw some attention outside of his base. No Widow Mines here, just 2 Marines. Certainly not going to be enough.
I love that move by ByuN, trying to lure Bunny out a little bit onto the map with the other units, and Bunny is setting up right now. The drop is coming in. Keep in mind, ByuN does have Stim. He's going to try and focus down that siege tank, and it will go down, but those auto turrets getting so much damage done on these Marines. The Viking cleaning up the medevacs, and that's about 20 supply going down there for ByuN. Is he going to get away? He barely gets away with this medevac. I mean, that helps a lot. 5 less supply going down is definitely beneficial there, because that drop just kind of got boarded with kind of ease there by Bunny.
Well, you know, a drop like that can be a double-edged sword. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is you'll see these attacks, and like if it works, it works. But I do feel like this just kind of fed into Bunny now, and Bunny seems to be a little bit bigger after gobbling up that drop. And I mean, can ByuN actually hold this attack? We're gonna see. He's coming up. If he could actually target those tanks, that would be huge. But it looks like both tanks are gonna pretty much get away.
The air superiority for ByuN, for Bunny, oh god, for Bunny here is really nice. And actually, we're gonna have this fight. That's about as good as it can go for ByuN. But the siege tank sieging up. And I thought he might be able to get something to happen there with his Stim, but instead, Bunny just inching his way forward. And this is what happens when you get air superiority like this. ByuN needs to use scans to get full use out of his tanks. He's gonna stem up, try and get these tanks. He might be able to get one. One does go down, and getting a little bit of damage right there. Really getting full utility out of these Stim Marines. And again, I mean, ByuN, this is what he does. He takes fights that you might not expect to go his way, and he ekes everything he can out of every possible engagement, getting a lot of value there out of those Marines in a situation where his army was not as technologically superior to his opponent.
I mean, let's see where this goes exactly, because, you know, again, ByuN getting pretty fierce with these fights, but he's coming up here. I don't see any medevacs with this army for ByuN, by the way.
I think he has a couple, but
oh, I must have missed it then. But
he might have lost a few to the Vikings, and I mean, this is just what happens when you're going up against an opponent with air superiority, and another drop's going to be coming in here for ByuN behind the naturals. He looks to pressure the third.
Now 1-1's about to finish here. We got the tank sieging up in this corner, and you know, it's going to have to be pretty quick that ByuN's have to respond to fight back over here now.
Yep, this drop coming in here by ByuN, getting a lot of damage done. That's 9 SCVs going down and some favorable trades. 6 Marines getting out, so ByuN really not losing much there in that drop. I gotta say, after the failed double drop in the main base of Bunny, I was really worried about his position, but somehow he was able to find an engagement with Stim Marines there at the top side that really kind of swung the momentum back in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny game, right? ByuN is actually pulling ahead here. A lot of these attacks, I just look at it, I go, that can't possibly be the way to do this. He's like, even with the medevac full of half-health Marines, he hasn't even healed it. He's moving so fast. But it does seem like the map has kind of gone right now to ByuN. He's able to roam a little bit more freely. But Bunny is going to keep up with expansions here. He's going to land his own CC or build one over here in a second. Meanwhile, you know, ByuN continuing to kind of stay about 10 supply ahead here. And, you know, some of that's in workers, some of that is in army here.
Oh my god, ByuN coming in for a huge engagement right now. Stim Marine's just diving this position. Oh my god, he just breaks down the first siege tank, continuing to push forward. He sets up a fantastic defensive spot here with 5 siege tanks. He's going to force the lift off. ByuN just with an absolute killer instinct scans and dives on this army and takes this position, and that is so critical.
This is kind of crazy. This army's going to go around now. I wasn't expecting. Okay, he's going to try to come up from above here. Kind of a funny position for some of these Marines to be in. But he is going to take these tanks out. Now, any lost mining time here at this command center is huge. So again, you got to remember, it's not just about killing it. I mean, you're mining, he's not. And that can, you know, be a couple, you know, more inches closer to the finish line here in the mere matchup race. And another attack's going to be out here. Now, Bunny's going to try to preempt this and basically surprise ByuN on the map.
Liberators are going to finally be able to clean this up over here at the third base of Bunny.
Yeah, I thought for a second he could actually get away from that.
Very valiant Marines.
Yeah, those are some noble Marines trying to take that out. So he reclaims the third, the third. But one thing about what ByuN's doing, and you got to be careful and watch for this, is it can look like he's winning, and then you go back and you're like, oh, Bunny has way more tanks and enough Marines, and he's just going to have a very basic counter push and win. Here comes a big drop. Marines ready. Good parry there.
Yeah, Bunny just really playing an immaculate defense right now. He lost a lot of momentum after that first fight there in the middle, and he's just been kind of defending in his base, just playing the slow, conservative game that you said really befits his style. And Bunny, trying to be an agent of chaos, was able to get some damage done there at the third base, but you're absolutely right. He lost 5 siege tanks. Bunny now continuing to build on his air superiority, even has some liberators out, and supply advantage is in ByuN's favor. He does have a bit of an eco lead as well, but I'm worried about how nuanced the army for ByuN is, and for Bunny, excuse me, and if ByuN's not able to catch him unawares, we have another skirmish here on the top side. ByuN might be able to siege this position again.
Yeah, this is not looking easy for ByuN. He is going to commit. That is a planetary, so keep in mind it's going to be a lot harder to just try to stim and come in, but he does it anyways. And dude, Bunny's screen was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's lost all of his tanks. Oh, this could be really the tipping point here.
ByuN has some insane killer instinct, man. The way he dives on units like this is just absolutely unbelievable. And he did lose enough of those Marines that Bunny's going to be able to come in here and clean up some of the tanks, but reinforcements coming from the side there by ByuN. He does not want to give this position up, and now suddenly a 30 supply lead for ByuN as Bunny just with a lapse of concentration, they're not paying attention to his army, not expecting ByuN to dive on the siege tanks and take down that defensive position. And ByuN, he's doing it again. He's coming around on this side. He's going to get 2 more tanks. And Bunny just getting caught with his pants down right now as ByuN is everywhere.
Yeah, ByuN is like killing off every important, sophisticated unit in the game, and I think we are at the end right now. I mean, ByuN just a little bit faster, and Bunny can't quite keep up. And at this point in time, I don't know if there's going to be any way for that's going to be a GG. ByuN wins game 1, looking so strong, so fast, so kind of in tune with the game and in tune with what Bunny's going to do. I do think that game could have gone on for longer, but when we saw the Stim Marines run right up and shoot down the 3 tanks, and then Bunny try to punch back, but already reinforcements were there to clean up Bunny's attempted attack back, siege up. That was it. So ByuN looking bigger, faster, stronger, and kind of a plot twist for today's games.
Yeah, Bunny is usually the one that has the edge in these TBTs here against ByuN, but ByuN, just like you said, he's playing faster right now. I was so impressed by the dives with the Marines, because if those fights go poorly for him, if he's not able to make those trades happen effectively, it's such a crushing loss. And ByuN, like, he's the kind of player with a killer instinct. He's going to take that risk to secure that win, and he uses a much less nuanced army, a much more simple army of mostly just Marines and tanks, and he crushes it out. And we're going to go to set 2 on Hardwire. ByuN up 1-0 against Bunny.
Came for war.
Team NV, Bunny. Shopify Rebellion, ByuN.
It's a gas first build here, I think, for Bunny. Oh, it's for Bunny. Okay. I was wondering who the blue player was for a moment. Had to wait for the
overlay to come up there.
And we'll see if there's a little bit of a divergence in build orders. Now, Terran builds are not one that I'm particularly familiar with.
I mean,
as a Protoss player myself.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go for 2 gases here, I mean, that can be pretty interesting. It certainly means you need to try to get something done right away.
Interesting openings here for both players. I mean, Bunny going for the gas first is going to have a later barracks, but a little bit faster on the gas ramp up, whereas ByuN is going for the 2 gas opening. We'll see where this is going to take both of these guys. As standard, just opening up with the Reapers right now, but I got to say, game number 1, the way that ByuN played that is so fun to watch.
It kind of played into what we were saying too, and that doesn't always happen as a caster, right? Where I'm like, well, sometimes this guy, he just attacks it, it doesn't make sense, but it works. But then we see him doing it there. I mean, a lot of moves where I think a more conservative player would look at that and be like, well, let's just try to find a safer moment. If you want to have an experience of how fast StarCraft 2 is, and it is the fastest RTS. I mean, the game just kind of moves at a rate that is very punishing, to be frank, if you miss something for even a split second. But watching a TVT where one side is just a little bit more ready than the other for a fight, and it can be the difference of you losing now 40 supply when it could have gone either way. It's pretty wild. ByuN coming in here and really doing a lot of damage really quickly. And it looks like he wants to do something like that now. Now, again, we should note, ByuN just now has his command center starting, whereas Bunny has his finishing. Bunny really investing into mid-game, where ByuN wanted to try to get something done early on, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that much so far.
Yeah, we'll see exactly where this build is going to go, as he does have 2 Reapers coming into the main base right now. Those Hellions just not ready to pop, and he will be able to push this Reaper back and bully these SCVs away. He's going to get 1 pick off for his trouble, might get 2, maybe even 3, as 1 is low over here in the mineral line. And I mean, this kind of pays for having that later command center as things equalize a little bit. Even getting a 4th right there. I mean, he's so good at eking out every little last drop of value from all of his units, and he's got a little bit of a tech advantage now as he does have that later command center going into Cyclones and a starport. We'll see exactly where that takes him, but man, like I hate to keep harping on the previous game, but it's so impressive to me.
It's pretty crazy,
to
dude.
see a player like ByuN there were 3 instances in that game where he just absolutely went for it in fights that looking at it, we have the God's view. We can see everything on the map.
We get to be omnipotent in the game, and
we don't know. It looks like it can go either way, and ByuN's just like, no, I'm going to take this bet that I can win this fight, and if I do, I'm going to win this game. And
it's funny too, because like ByuN really is pretty hot or cold historically. Like there's a lot of moments where he does that, and he just everything dies out, and he'll tap out GG a little bit later. But we were talking before the show, and it does seem like ByuN is in great condition. Now, we're about to get to a very important moment here as we have a drop moving out. I think it's going back?
I think it might be going back. It's actually a Cyclone in that medevac, which is not really what you expect to see. I'm not sure what the end goal is there. And in the meantime, Bunny with a lot of Hellions and some and one Reaper is going to be trying to make something happen. Even as a Marauder with Concussive Shell.
Oh, that's funny. Whoa. Now,
what a sick build.
Yeah, because you can catch the fleeing unit and then the Hellions get to kill it off. Oh, he doesn't get the wall at the time.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Everything is falling apart here for ByuN. This is an insane build right here for Bunny. I mean, this Concussive Shell Marauder adding so much value. The Cyclones, they cannot get away. The Marauder not only does it do bonus damage, but it also slows it down. There's no defense there, no response at all.
Dude, that was a cool build.
What a cool build! I've actually never seen that.
The Marauder came out.
Dude!
And that was Bunny in the Marauder suit. He was there, dude.
Oh, that was awesome. What a creative build. I mean, TVT's
I've never seen that.
TVT's a matchup that I really don't get to watch anymore, but that was one of the most fun builds I think I've ever seen. I mean, that game was like over like in an instant. Like you snap your fingers and it's done. And
yeah. So the idea basically is that the Hellions are faster than most of the other units in the game, but the Marauder makes the other unit, whatever's being hit, it just now does not get away. And I've never seen that exact opening, but I like it.
Yeah, that was sick.
I don't think you can do that more than once, but one thing about the medevac, you can't tell what's inside until it drops something out. So you may think it's going to elevator Hellions up there, or, and then the Marauder comes out. I don't know. No more time, guys. 2,000 atmospheres. We're already in game 3. Who's going to take it, ByuN or Bunny? Let's find out.
Oh boy.
We're skipping intros here. ByuN going to throw a barracks down. And do we have a... Oh, I'm sorry. We do have a second SCV.
Yeah, we got 2 SCVs.
I almost didn't see it on our mini-map. So it's going to be double racks. Now,
this is going to be one fast TBT series for a 3-game one,
I know, right? I feel like this... haven't been into this best of 3 for that long. Things are moving pretty quickly here. 2 barracks come down.
It's a 2-gas opening for Bunny as well.
Now, yeah, it's important to watch what exactly Bunny's going to do because, a rush like this from ByuN, a lot of it's hinged on Bunny. If you're going to put it on a spectrum, playing very middle of the road to super greedy. Now, Bunny is not checking his peripherals for that. So he's not going to have any confirmation this is coming until he gets into the main. By the way, that doesn't mean that Bunny's playing wrong. It's just sort of how you're going to try to open up and deal with all of the possibilities that there are in a StarCraft 2 game.
So ByuN's even going up to 2 gas, so we're going to see a lot of Reapers coming out from this proxy.
Yeah, and this is kind of ByuN doing the classic, ByuN win if it does work out here, which is going to be to snowball this with Reapers. And this is usually decided within like 45 seconds. Basically, the Reapers start to kill things off. You can't catch up. You can use the grenades to slow them down. But I see a bunker coming up here.
Yeah, Bunny's response has been pretty spot on so far, and I'm not sure exactly where the jump up position is there for ByuN coming into the main base, but I'm starting to think based on Bunny's defense that he will be well prepared for it. I mean, he does have that bunker right there on the front. He's going to go back into Marine production, which they do have reasonably high DPS, even though Reapers can absolutely shred them. It doesn't matter if they're in a bunker.
Yeah.
But he's going to poke up, take a bit of damage.
The Reapers just can't fight a bunker. Like, it's one of the... The old Reaper in the early days could actually, you know, combat buildings reasonably well.
I
Remember
forgot about that.
Yeah.
They like threw the little
They threw their little bombs
shell
at the building, but they basically removed that a long time ago because it was actually ridiculous how good it was. So...
Oh, wow. ByuN actually setting a bunker in the main base of ByuN right now, and this Reaper's coming back, and of course ByuN to send one of his Reapers back home as well, and one SV going down.
Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That's so funny. You even have like the tempo advantage by having the SCV chase it.
ByuN's micro, man. He doesn't lose these.
He kind of knew how the AI works with both of those Reapers at that moment. But honestly, I'm really liking this for Bunny. I mean, I feel like Bunny has basically deflected this. These Reapers, they're stuck on the outside now. And, you know, the Reaper really loses value as the game goes on in a way that is different from almost any other unit in the game.
Yeah, ByuN really getting no damage done there. In fact, Bunny actually got more done with that one Reaper than ByuN did with any of his. And what player's going to expand now, but ByuN, once again, he's on the map. He's near the natural expansion of Bunny, and he's got nothing at home. These two Hellions coming in are going to pick off 2 more SCVs.
Yeah, the Hellions are going to come in here now and just get these SCVs. It's going to be a problem here. Again, these Reapers not able to be where they need to be. And I don't know, man. I mean, normally I don't, you know, call it when 2 Hellions get into a base, but I mean, this is a lot of damage early on. And, you know, when you lose this many SCVs at the start of a game, it makes the recovery a lot harder.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a 2-1 for Bunny right now.
Yeah.
I mean, his defense was just immaculate. There's really not a lot of options unless Bunny didn't even go. If Bunny didn't go for an SCV scout, was caught completely unaware, maybe this works, but the defense was immaculate. They're home. The Reaper got an SCV, and then the 2 Hellion follow-up got a lot more. And ByuN, I mean, he doesn't want to go to the losers match. He wants to try and play this out as best he can, but 17 workers to 28 and with a later command center. I mean, ByuN's is only halfway done right now. He needs a miracle.
Yeah, man. I mean, Bunny is comfortable right now. You know, anybody who's played enough StarCraft, you're in a position like this and you've already beat them up. They're on 2 bases. The proxy didn't work. You know, you've killed workers and you've scouted them, and your tech is basically ahead. You're making your second rave. I mean, this is just like, it's so bad, dude. You know, we don't even have any workers mining from this second command center yet because it's not done for ByuN. I mean, that's how bad things are.
Yep, it's still under production. I mean, even in terms of unit counts, the only real, the asymmetry right now is, so both players have 2 Cyclones, and ByuN has a handful of Reapers, but Bunny's got siege tanks, he's got a Raven already, he's got a lot of Marines, and this push is going to come in here, but I mean, there's no way you take this trade favorably. That's another Cyclone going down, and I think ByuN right now, it's starting to set in exactly how far behind he is, because there really is no advantage. Even getting caught unaware once again, another Cyclone falling. These Reapers might be able to get 1 more done, but I mean, that's a lot of Marines right there for that Liberator.
Yeah, you know, what you're seeing here is ByuN kind of, tragically lose the way that only ByuN could, which is he just keeps aggressing in these positions where it's like you're sticking your hand in the lion's cage.
Yeah.
At this point in time, like, this isn't going to work out. And I'll tell you, man, after seeing how well ByuN played in, I think, a game where he was allowed to develop, it's kind of sad to see him lose in a game where he decided to be super aggressive and ended before it even started. You know, maybe a little bit greedy from him. And so ByuN, you know, he's not eliminated. He's going to be in the losers match against Zest. But this means that we're going to have Bunny versus Sue coming up next.
That's going to be an interesting match. Can't wait to get to it. I mean, Bunny, he played really solid right there in that best of 3. Game 1 was a little bit shaky, but
I think this is going to be the best match of the night, honestly. Sue and Bunny. Bunny in great shape. Sue, he's back. He never looks like he went away. Guys, we're going to have a break. We come back. The winner's match of Group B.